Hello everyone, this is SIG Scheduling meeting February 10th. We don't have too much on the agenda, but I think pretty important items. So maybe let's start from the workload reference and our API changes. So do we have anything new from yesterday?
I think you can go ahead, Mateusz.
That's fine. The question is like anything new comparing to the yesterday's WAS meeting, or
Yes.
that is the question. Yes. Okay. So we continue discussing with team, but that was a short discussion. Overall, I think we see the direction the team is pushing us toward, and it's basically removing workload reference from pod, workload object reference, and then just going with something generic for the pod group reference that in the future, for which in the future will be possible to add potentially pod subgroup or something else. Tim also said pod subgroup is a terrible name, so we need to think about it more. But basically, I think we know what to do. We need to figure out some name, and also Wojtek told me that the name doesn't have to be final now. We can propose some name now, and later in the API review, it's fine if we change it to something else, right? So, but we know the structure we want to go with, so that's the most important part. And I think that unblocks us and also the Hebaskep.
So are we going to?
Yeah, I just added a comment about that literally 5 minutes ago. So probably none of you have seen that yet, but.
Okay, so it's about removing workload object from both references?
No, both. Pod group should reference to workload. And there we discussed it, right? It's a clear parallel to what we had in 135, right? Because you are pointing to a template object within a workload object, right? So it's a pattern that we already used last year.
So instead of maybe Dominic writing what we remove, let's state what it will be. So the reference, pod will only be referencing the pod group.
Yes.
For now, it will be only referencing the pod group. Eventually, that reference should be able to evolve towards referencing some other subgroup, pod set, whatever.
Pod references the immediate execution context.
The runtime object, yes.
Now it's the pod group. It might be something else in the future. But it will be a runtime object, yes.
Regarding regarding referencing the workload, my argument about usability and so on, what team suggested is that maybe we can actually have the reference to the workload in the status, which I like, because that shows it's not a desire, it's computed from other information. So I like this. We should decouple it. Let's not do that now. We will add it later. It's not critical for now. So let's ignore that for now. So that will be the only thing what you just wrote in the pod. And the pod group, we need a reference from pod group to workload because we need it for discoverability. As a workload owner, you need to be able to answer if I need to create a pod group or one already exists. So some kind of linkage has to exist. I think I'm not 100% sure. I realized that today morning that I should have asked Tim explicitly about that. I think that my understanding based on his comments is that he is okay with what we are proposing now. But now in the morning I realized that I can imagine also different interpretation of what he wrote. So.
Okay, so you are saying that at some point we need to have pod to workload reference.
At some point we may want to have but not as part of this structure, but what because Tim's argument was that we don't want the. I think you also, Dominic, was bringing this up in the past. We don't want two different paths to get from pod to workload, either via pod group or directly, because they may technically reference different things. And and the status, like, so we need to differentiate the desire, which will be like this pod group reference that is like desire versus like what is computed based on other information. And like team's suggestion, what was it will be a status, but like let's ignore that for now.
Yeah, of course we need to have the information from which we can compute it. But we don't have that. Heba?
So I saw the conversation that Tim had in the PR, but there are a couple of suggestions actually. Which one is the finalized one from structure point of view? And the second thing is if we are going to remove the work ref, I think we need to rename the ref to maybe pod group ref or something like that. And would it be a struct or would it be just a string? We need just to like finalize all these few details.
So I will do it today in MyCap, and you can like piggyback on that. But overall, yes, we'll remove the workload ref field, like we'll tombstone it, and introduce a new struct. Like right now, team proposed pod work group, but we'll maybe figure out a better name. It will be another struct that holds currently only the pod group reference, and in the future we may add more things there. Like that's what we know now, right? We still need to figure out.
Roughly the structs or set of structs that Tim suggested, like at the bottom of his comment.
Yes.
So the final one, the last one. Okay, it's okay. So the new struct will be like a mix of both, right? So it will be like a workload / pod group ref, and inside it will be just the pod group ref for now. Is that right?
Like, I'm not sure how to interpret like a mix of both, but it will be pointing only to runtime objects. Right now, only
we will not have like workload there, so it will definitely not be called workload reference.
Okay. It's like a common or a general ref struct, and inside it we will have maybe multiple, but for now it's just the pod group ref for now. In the future we can have other ref as well, yes. But for now it will be just this, right?
Yeah, okay. Once we have different runtime concepts, we may have more there. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I get the point, but it's a little bit, like complicated, but I get it. I get why. But for the user, I feel sorry for them, but it is what it is. Yeah, I can imagine that. Okay.
Well, I think we simply need to have two different relations. And one is about the building the tree, the runtime tree, and the second is relation to workload. For now, we are just focusing on the first one, which is the most important for scheduling. Scheduler should have everything in this structure. It's less clear for what exactly there is the reason to have pointer to workload itself.
Because like the workload needs to know if I need to create a pod group or I shouldn't. Like I need to be able to say, is there already a pod group that I can link my pods to, or no, I need to create one. So the question is like how to reference it, but like some linkage is needed, right?
Yeah, yes. I believe so. Yeah, and I like it now. It's clean because it's one-to-one. Like the two relation is one-to-one, from pod to pod group, and then from pod group to workload. If you wanted to get the workload from the pod, you can just like have two steps instead of one, which is totally fine. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, like in the future we may add like directly workload to pod, as Wojtek said. Like a very nice idea from Tim was to add it to status, so it will be like computed. But like we need a use case for that, right? Like use a scenario, like whatever. I'm cluster operator. I want to be able to quickly identify workload. And then like we can have like a separate cap for that where we will figure out all the.
Yeah, I think the core is that like it's additive to what we are discussing now. So like we can always do that. Like anything additive that we have on mind, like it's fine.
That was Tim's point. It's much easier to add API servers versus removing API servers, right? So it's better to start now without the workloads. From pod, because we need it from pod group. Yeah.
Okay, one more question. So do we create V2 or we modify V1?
For what?
Sorry.
For the interface changes.
No, it depends what, but like, because like the workload reference is in core, so it's in V1. So like we modify there. For like pod group workload and so on, we create V1 alpha 2.
Okay.
And we
delete V1 alpha 1 completely.
Yeah,
completely. Not like.
So we don't need to support both paths.
Okay. Okay. So we can move on. Let's take a look at the other caps. So we have list attributes. Nothing happens. Probably it won't get to 136.
Can you maybe start by priority?
Right. Okay, so we should have it now. So gang scheduling. So we have the MADS cap, and that would be it for gang scheduling. We assume we don't go to beta, so we don't have, at least not now, we don't have any other cap. The couple pod group API, this is HABA 1, so we have to have those two merged. Workload our preemption is merged. By the way, I have a question here. Don't we need to update it to make priority status also in pod group, or can we do it during coding?
We can probably do that during coding. Like if we have time, if I get to it, like I can do that, but like we can.
Okay, so it's not a blocker to add API change that is not explicitly in the cap.
Yep.
Okay. Topology over scheduling is also merged. Resource claim, I think we need to still focus on. We are waiting for updates, I think. I'm not sure if there was.
For resource claims, I think it's, from my perspective, it looks reasonable now. Like even if we merge as is. So I think we are waiting for, or from PRR perspective, I was waiting for SIG approval. So for you, I guess, Dominic. But so I think it's you should look at it.
Okay, so Jon, I think, updated the cap yesterday.
I was looking at it like yesterday afternoon, and it already looked good to me.
Yeah, so it looks to me, it looks good to me as well. So we'll probably approve it. Extended resources is submitted. Integration with job controller is ongoing. Those are close to be merged. I think there is our approval, so it's not on us. Those two are merged. Device binding conditions, I'm also approved that, but leaving the decision on John whether they really want to move to beta with this one. And native resources. So Praveen simplified the cap. They removed the shared resource claim case, and two methods of accounting those additional resources. So what will remain is basically use of native resources specified in DRA as extension to other DRA resources in case they need to allocate some CPU and memory additionally. And it will be double accounting. So in terms, maybe not double accounting, but it will be calculated in two different places. One calculation will be in resource feed plugin, and the second in the DRA, and the DRA will see both resources, so the DRA ones and the regular ones. So I think in this shape we can definitely approve it. The question is how it will evolve, because they plan to add status to pods, and in the status they will put information about the array resources that the specific pod is using. So all components will have to become aware of those DRA resources. I don't see like any other reasonable way of doing it in alpha. So so I think we are going to accept it. No declared features. I think we can wait for Maciek as a follow-up to this cap. He was reviewing it. Opportunistic batching, it's an update, and it looks good. So we will have a small change how we compute a signature. We don't plan like any other changes here because we simply don't have bandwidth for it. Theoretically, we could do more. We have 3 caps regarding the tolerations. So regarding the cell expressions, so overall, I think the idea is good. The only concern is the performance impact. I tagged few people on that cap, but there was no follow-up. So either no one has time to think about that, or we are fine with adding that. It would be good to discuss it now if we have time. So the only risk that I see is if we have big workloads which start using this cell engine, then the risk is that scheduling of such workload, especially when we develop our scheduling algorithm, that it considers much more cases than we consider today, it may cause that scheduling such a workload would simply take seconds, right? And all other scheduling will be blocked. So potentially there is some negative impact that we can have on overall scheduler performance. So on one hand, we can say that when people are using cell, they have to pay the cost of degraded performance. On the other hand, if one workload is using it, another workload is not using it, then still there's another one is impacted. So any thoughts about that?
He's doing some performance testing
Mhm.
for the implementation. He already did, like a quick POC for the ACL. So I asked him to do the performance test. I'm waiting for that. He should report it back to you, replying to your comment. According to that, we can see if we're going to pursue with this or not. So far, my take here is this is not a general case. It will be just for the workload that use SEL toleration. So it shouldn't be, it should not affect like the scheduling and cluster in general, that to that extent that, but again, let's wait and see the performance test result if we can get anything out of it. But of course, if you or Fortak or anyone else has like a major concern about it, we can just either think about how to solve this problem, or we can communicate this in the kit.
Right. So, well, we of course can implement alpha feature. The question is whether we want to support a solution which will always have a disclaimer. If you use it, it will be slower, it will impact performance. We don't recommend using it, something like that. That's probably not the best option to offer some feature, but at the same time, not recommend using it. So that would be my concern.
Yeah, don't we have it in DRA? And
we do, yeah.
Yeah. So what is the feedback from the users about it, and what is the downside, or
Yeah, that's why
the cons? Yeah.
Yeah, I asked, I think, John about feedback, but haven't seen response. So we, in fact, don't know. We know that DRA adoption is not, that high. So probably we won't see an impact soon. So I'm not saying that this is something we should not do. We simply should be conscious about the decision that we take and stick to it.
Going with alpha, it should be okay, but let's have like strict beta graduation for specifically for the performance. Let's get some tests or some feedback before graduating it to beta.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, wildcard matching is covered by cell. So we are not going to move forward with it. Is that correct?
Sorry, can you repeat that again? Sorry.
The wildcard matching proposal.
Yeah, it should be covered if we decide to go with SEL, because it's just a use case. It would be covered, yeah. So we can just ignore the wildcard if we are going with the SEL.
Okay, and I think you said last time that Semver cannot be used in CL.
Yes, and actually we had it can, but the Semverge it was like actually a request, or like a feature request during the extension, like the toleration operator extension cap. It has been requested by a couple of folks, and it was really nice to have and easy to implement. This is why we decided to have it as like a separate cap. because like it was like a separate feature. Yes, we can have it through the ACL, but like I'm hesitated to like to gather these two functionality in one due to the SEL like the limitation that you just mentioned. So I don't want it to just like lose two features if we decided not to graduate the SEL. But it's like I'm totally fine with like discussing.
Okay, so we may have POV, which can basically do the same thing theoretically, and we think about having both too, because one of them can have performance problems.
Mm-hmm. It can SEL can include the SEMverge as well.
Yeah.
So it's your call. Again, during the CAP review for the toleration operators, it was recommended to separate them actually into different caps. To be honest, I don't remember exactly. Like the decision why we separated them, but I like this back then because I know that SEL might have some like pushing like pushback, but the SEMverge was like very straightforward. Sure, but again, it's totally up to you.
Yeah, well, we will pay like the cost of complicating a little bit the interface. On the other hand, both are alpha, so we can probably get rid of one of them and discontinue. Okay, so let's wait for some performance results, at least the early ones, and let's take a decision based on them. But maybe we indeed can have both if we can only manage to handle the reviews.
The first round of review, I'm planning hopefully once like my two caps are a little bit stable, I will have another round of review for these two, and I will thank you for like final review as well.
Yeah, I reviewed especially the CL1, and overall I like the cap. It's fine. It's okay. The cap itself. So okay, so we have tomorrow. We need to take the final decision.
Yep.
Yeah. CSI. So this is. There are, I think, two caps. One is merged, and the code changes are also merged last year. There is, I think, one more cap which I linked here, and this is not linked in the issue. And I think there is no response to my question in the cap. And I don't see it here. Prioritize alternatives is merged, and we covered this one. So So this is the status, and I think we are okay. We have tomorrow for to finally close the remaining ones, whichever we can close. Any questions? We don't have Kenzei from what I see, and yeah, I was asking him about on Slack about the approvals, but yeah, I think if he does not respond, then I will be like completely decision maker for all those approvals. He is on vacation, so he is slow to respond. Okay, anything else we want to discuss? If not, then thank you. Maciek is back tomorrow, so if anyone is waiting for him, then okay. So thanks and see you.
Thanks. See you.
Thanks.
See you.